Well, hello, and welcome to another I Am My Biggest Fan episode of the Blazen Legacy Network. And today we have the beautiful Julie Ramirez. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, where are you from? And she said, Apollo Beach, Florida. And we're like a couple of hours away, maybe like an hour and so, like maybe two
Mm,
hours, I would say.
yeah.
Right. And I'm here in Central Florida, and she's on the West Coast, correct?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yes, beautiful. So why don't you tell us more about you?
Well, I am so excited. I really appreciate connecting with you. I love everything about you and what you're doing. But I am half of a husband and wife finance team. My husband and I help people all over just really dig into the practicality of where they are with their finances and figure out how they can move forward. One of the things that brought me into this just industry is just having to go through significant loss in my life and trauma and pain from that and not being able to deal with it, just having to work on the practicality aspect of it and then trying to figure out, okay, now what do I do to heal myself, right? So I've just been really good at connecting myself with people that have gone through traumatic loss and helping them figure out how do I move forward from this point, right? Um, my mom passed away really suddenly from brain cancer, never was sick. And that was really traumatizing for me. One, but two, my dad passed away 5 years after. When he passed away, he didn't have his affairs in order. And so it was really hard trying to figure out now as the matriarch, how do I how do I figure out all of his estate and fight probate and get guardianship over my brother while maintaining my own family that I have and my own emotions. And so I just really came into meeting my business partner today, my broker, that really encouraged me to take a leap and to go in a different direction. And I said, if I could help one client not go through what we did, it'd be worth it. And here we are 10 years later. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell.
Oh my gosh, that's impressive. And I'm so happy that you were able to take that opportunity to also help your brother. And I know we're just throwing out there, there's things that we can't actually control,
Yeah.
and we're not even prepared. But what if we start preparing now for our
Mhm.
future and the future of our family? That's very nice of you. Well, I mean, this is, you kind of answered a question that I wanted to ask you, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it again.
Mhm.
What was the actual personal turning point that began your healing journey?
So let me tell you, when something like that happens to you as a faithful person, my background, I grew up Hindu. And, my parents were good people. They served people. They were, always willing to help people. And I really thought if you did what you were supposed to do and be a good person and prayed, nothing bad would happen to you. I know that sounds silly, but in my mind, that's what I thought, right? And so when something not only bad happened to my mom, but then my dad, and then I went through that turmoil of trying to figure out how to pick up the pieces, I really lost my way spiritually, right? And I turned away. I was depressed. I was had riddled with anxiety, and I didn't know that I was going through that, right? And I just felt alone and helpless. So the turning point for me was God kept reaching out to me in different ways. And I don't know how to describe that, whether it was a song on the radio or somebody stopping me with a message at my birthday dinner or in an elevator. He just kept reaching out. And I always kept saying, I can't hear God talk to me, right? But he found a way to talk to me in ways that I thought were coincidental, but then realized he was drawing me back. So for me, the journey was really getting to know Jesus and committing to healing and understanding how I can transform myself into something more productive and who he wants me to be.
Oh, I love that. And the more we learn about ourselves, it just makes the purpose of our life to serve others in a different perspective of life. You see life in a different perspective with a different light, and it's so beautiful. I'm so happy that you're here with us telling your story. It's very important. If someone feels broken, um, or lost right now, what will be one thing that you will want them to know?
Don't do it alone. Don't deal with it alone. A lot of us, when we get into those situations, we don't want to be the Debbie Downer. And I'm not talking about the ones that drama continues to follow them wherever, right? I'm talking about the ones that are strong. The women that are the strongest, the most, are battling the biggest battles behind the scenes. But you don't know because, they put it on when they need to, right? So for those women that are going through something, don't be ashamed to reach out to people and talk to them about what's going on with you. Not just anybody, but reach out to your circle of friends and let them know you're battling something and see how, what you can do to help yourself, right? And if after a while nothing's changing with your energy or emotionally or physically, really seek out and try to figure out holistically what can be done, or even, practical medication. You know, I was always afraid to take something for my anxiety. And one day a doctor said, Julie, if you had a chronic illness and this was the way to help you, would you take it? And I said, of course I would. I would take the medication. She goes, why don't you think about mental health like that? You know? And so that's really important, is to really to seek out either spiritually or emotionally or through your friend circle. Do not isolate yourself, because isolating yourself compounds it and you feel like you're climbing this mountain, but the mountain really isn't there. It's because you're isolating yourself, that's why it looks like you're battling that.
Yeah. When did you realize that your story had the power to impact others?
Honestly, it just really started with a Facebook video where I shared. I actually wrote a Facebook post looking for clients, right? And somebody actually read it and said they felt connected with the story. And my background is in broadcasting. And I thought to myself, you know what? I wonder if there's a way I could put those two together. And I've used social media to share my story. For me, I always keep everything private, right? But then people kept reaching out to me saying, I really resonated with that. And it prompted me to share my story publicly in co-authoring two books about my journey that I went through with the financial aspect, and then how you can really unleash your inner power. How could I turn something like that and really use it as a trajectory to pivot into who I really wanted to be and who I'm supposed to be? So, that was a big turning point for me, was just sharing on social media. It starts with one person. You never know who that person is going to be on the other side.
Yeah, stories are so important. I use mines too, and there's always someone there that will could relate and that you could actually transform their life with just one story. And it's so powerful to see that in people. And I'm happy that you took, because sometimes those stories take a lot of courage. But what if you just try it on and see what happens, and look at that. Now you're helping so many people just because of that.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the bottom line is that I was afraid to put my story out there because I was afraid what would people think about it. Like what would my sister think, my family think, and that was important to me. But somebody said, Julie, you know what? That's your version of the story, right? We each have our version of events of how we responded to the trauma of what happened with our parents passing away. So it may be okay that my sister has a different version of how she saw things and how she went through it, but it was my story, my truth, right? So don't be afraid to share with somebody your story, because you don't know who's going to impact and what kind of impact it's going to have. Now, there's people out there that are looking to obviously troll and things like that, but people genuinely are looking for other people that they can connect with because they feel alone, right?
Yeah.
And the screen has become our comfort. So, it's almost like 24/7 therapy, right? If I can find somebody that kind of looks like me or is similar to me and they're going through something, it helps me know I'm not alone, right?
Yeah. What is one daily self-love ritual that you cannot live without?
Oh gosh. I'm as a habit a creature of as I am. That's one thing I really need to work on is being consistent. But I've been recently trying to be consistent about reading the Bible and reading scripture. Um, just trying to find something in there. Like if I'm waking up and there's something on my mind, maybe Googling, hey, where in the Bible maybe talks about that to see what it says. Um, and then daily affirmations. I haven't been really good at self-talk, right? um, in the past, and I'm really learning how to change that, reprogram, and say what I want to say about myself, how other people see me, right? So those two things are important.
That's amazing. Yeah. I can't live without saying affirmations every day. But you know what? The first thing that I wake up in the morning, I am so appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's appreciation. It's so beautiful when you wake up every morning, appreciated. So at times we don't remember the I ams, the I am this, I am that. But then what if
Yeah.
you just wake up in the morning and say, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so appreciated today. It's a beautiful day. That, my dears, changes the world for you. I love that.
Gratitude is a big one, and that's another one I needed to speak about too, is that I've added that whenever I feel like I'm getting that little ick in me, I just start writing out what I'm thankful for, and it helps reprogram that. But we've got to all learn what kind of techniques help us get back on track, right? So,
Definitely. And you start somewhere. That's the thing. The good thing about it that we're willing to start somewhere that we're not. But what if you just stay in a mentality, and I mean we're not here to judge, but if you stay in a mentality that no, I'm fine, everything is fine, everything is fine, you're gonna stay in a vicious circle. And I don't see myself like that because I've been there already. So staying there is like looking at the older version of me that I no longer exist, and it doesn't make me feel happy. you know.
yeah. I mean, I don't know about you, but culturally, when you grow up in that Indian background, you don't really talk about your problems. Mental health is not something that you discuss, right? It's not really anything that is a topic to discuss. It's almost like it's not there. So you don't know. When I look back and I look at my mom, and how I realize now, growing up she had anxiety just like I did, but I never knew that, right? And so when you recognize it, like you said, you break those, what do you call it, hereditary cycles,
Generational patterns. Yeah.
generational, yeah. And but you don't know what you don't know. You think that's your way of life until somebody says, hey, there's another way for you to live. And but you don't know, just like people don't know about money, they don't know what they don't know. So that's where it's important for us to teach and educate.
Yes, that's, and for the consumer to also look for information, engage, and ask questions. No question is dumb. So that's why we created the Blazen Legacy network. Well, we actually had changed the name, but one of the things we did it for is because we want to serve and help community. And before it was just promotion, promotion, promotion. In reality, I felt that I was not serving and helping a lot of people. We're just looking at their posts. So we and my business partner and I, we said, no, you know what? This is not feeling right. And I said, I'm just gonna change it. I'm just gonna change because I just make
Yeah.
decisions. And we did. And now it feels that we are going somewhere. We're going to a path where people could ask for help, where we could come in and jump in. Not only us, but there's also so many business owners and mentors there that we could help. And we also bring guest speakers, and stories do matter. So we have this community energy of coming together and helping people to grow at any level of their game. And I
Yeah.
love that. And that makes so much sense because we didn't have this when we were growing up.
Mm-mm.
There's so
No.
many things that I have learned that should have been taught in school, and in reality they don't teach you this. So why not? There's no age. You could be 80 years old and still learning about how to heal, and there's no stopping in this game. But what if we don't do it? Then we don't never find out, and are we really happy, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think we all grow up, that there's this certain what happiness looks like, right? And I think that's excellent. You're able to provide an avenue where you can serve and help others in a healthy way, right? Because I think we all think, okay, I don't know how I can help somebody when I can't help myself. That's one thing, right? But then how do you serve? What is serving? Is it some people might think it's maybe monetary, but it goes beyond that. It's just that simple act of that transaction, right? Of helping somebody with whatever it is that they need. It could be a conversation. You don't know how serving somebody is going to be um, in your day and how it's going to impact their life, you know? Um, and
Like,
that's what I think is just so amazing if people can just focus on the bigger picture of self-improvement. What can we do better?
love that. How did healing and self-love shift your relationship with money?
Um, I have always been really savvy with money. But after after my dad died, I had a fear of money. I don't because I was leveraging my personal finances to save his estate, if that makes sense. And so what happens is I was up here with my finances, but I got to the point where I was afraid to even look in the bank account, and it created an anxiety from that trauma. So how do I heal from that is just knowing better, right? Educating myself. Just like in your mind, when you start getting those negative thoughts, you have to tell yourself the same thing when it comes to those situations. I'm not afraid to those affirmations. I'm not afraid to look at my account. Okay. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that thought that I have is not truthful, right? I am prepared. I have things organized. So just like that, how to get over it is just that self-talk and planning, knowing that you're making those right choices to get you to where you want to be. But not letting fear affect you in your financial realm either. In your spiritual, mental, financial realm, you got to add that too.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. Yeah, there is a lot of fear, and it normally comes at times. I remember just kind of like scanning my body and my mind and my soul and thinking when I was a kid, what was it that I couldn't do with money? And I remember we couldn't speak about money because I came from a family that had everything. We were not like filthy rich, but we
Yeah.
had everything we needed. And we had businesses. So, coming from a business family, everybody always thought that we were rich. But we just basically had everything we needed. It wasn't like we were spoiled. We always worked for our things. Me, myself, and I know that I have built myself all my life, and I have never been to my dad or my mom, hey, I need money. Never. I have built everything from scratch. I'm being the goat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
and
the same
and the
way.
and the black sheep of the family, I have carried everything and I own it. I own it and I feel very proud of me. Because of that, I was able to be here and serving you today. But but then I thought, yes, I remember we couldn't speak about money. And that's one of the money blocks. Why? Because in reality, oh my gosh, I'm afraid I can't say that I have money. I can't say that and that's when I started talking online on Facebook, and I started telling the story. I came from at 21, I made my first $60,000 a year, which at 21, 60,000,
Was a
that was a
lot.
long time ago, and still right now it's pretty good
Hmm.
right now, but at that time I'm 47 now, so imagine. Then after that, like as I continue to scan my life, I said, yeah, and then I'm like, but 17 years corporate, I came from $11 to making six figures. Why I'm not talking about that? Because of that, I'm here also being able to serve others. Because of that, I was able to build a store, to do this, to do that. And I'm like, no, there has to be a time that I need to talk about money. And I stopped not wanting to talk about it. And now we're like, okay, let's talk about
You know what's funny that you said that somebody posted in Facebook on their Facebook page saying that, are you really about it? Right? Are you just showing off on Facebook by showing your car and showing what you have, right? Or you really invested in helping people show them how to get where they're at now to where you are, right? And
it.
that's the
Yes.
difference is that people are so busy flashing it on Facebook, but how many of them are actually helping people get from point A to the point that they're at now, right?
Yes.
And I thought
And
that was
what the
so
steps
impactful.
and the steps it takes to get from A to Z.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I could sit here, and I'm not here to do anyone's work. I am my
Hmm.
healer. I am my own worker. As a coach, I help people and mentor people so they could do their work.
Hmm.
And they could actually do the roadmap. And yeah, of course we'll do blueprint, personalized goals and all that. But in reality, it takes that person individually to do the work. um but yes, it took that roadmap, it took failure, it took
Oh,
boundaries, it took a lot of inner work. It took not Oh yes, I have a older version of my car. It's yeah, I bought it at a decent price. It was a Mercedes Benz. I still have a 2010 Mercedes. Why? Because my priority was not buying a 2025 Mercedes. My priority was leaving corporate. My priority was serving with the world with healing, empowerment, wealth, and self-love. And I needed to make a plan because I wasn't ready to just call it quits. Of course, you have to, and I'm so happy that you're
yeah.
working financial freedom, because in reality, you need a plan. You need a
Yep.
plan. You need to set some goals. You can't just go and say bye, see you later. Yes, you can, but are you actually aligned? Are you actually
Hmm.
healed? Are you actually, your nervous system is correct, intact to receive more
Yeah.
abundance? So there is planning, and I'm so happy that you help clients with that. So it's
Yeah.
important.
I mean, it's a roadmap. We give them a financial roadmap, whether it's trying to help them save money and figuring out where the best way to allocate what we're saving them is in their financial plan. Do they have an emergency fund? Have they started saving for retirement? Is their financial house being built in order or is it out of order? Some people are saving for their kids' retirement, but they don't even have an emergency fund, you know? They say when you're on an airplane, what do? You put the oxygen mask on yourself first because you can't help anyone else. It's the same thing, right? But we've never been taught to talk about money like that, how to build wealth. And so I feel everybody deserves to have an education to know how to do that. I'm laying it out to you, right? I'm telling you the secrets of the wealthy. It's up to you now to figure out, do I want to follow this or do I want to stay where I am right now? Right.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing. Where
Hmm.
can people find you?
So people can find me on Facebook under Julie Prashad. I have a YouTube channel called Just Julie where I had a talk show where I discuss different topics, empowering other women and their stories and what they went through. So definitely you can reach out to me through Facebook. But I will share my information and I'll drop it in the chat, but it's 813 You can reach out to me, and we love meeting with married couples because one of the big fights that you have, right, is money. What better way to sit in front of a married couple that can help you be objective and set goals for your future, and what you want for your life. So I appreciate the opportunity, and I feel like this is my way to serve people.
Amazing. Thank you. What currently do you have any offers, any events or anything, any gifts that you would like to share with the community watching us now
Yep.
live?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a free gift to sit down with us and just do a once over of your finances, see what strategic plan we can pull together for you. But I also have a money reset on July 31st. If you go to my Facebook page, you can sign up for that. It's a free workshop. It talks about exactly what you said, those feelings about money. How does the emotion that you tie to it, right? And where do we start getting over that? So that's a workshop that you can definitely pop into completely free. And of course, you could always reach out to me and do a consultation. I'm happy to just point you on the right direction, right?
Oh, that's amazing. So everyone, check out this workshop. It's July 31st, correct? So
Yes.
at
Yep.
the end of this month, and this is my birthday month, so that's amazing. So more
Oh,
freebies for all of you guys. More freebies. I love it. So what if you were to finish this sentence, and I love it. The world needs more of.
grace.
Hmm. I like that. That makes my body kind of melt. Grace. Yes,
I
thank
think
you.
people are just quick to assume a situation is the way it is. And I think we need to stop and kind of see people where they're at and have a little bit of grace to understand that. I think that's what the world's lacking right now, of course, with kindness.
Amazing. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. I'm
Yes,
so
thank
happy I
you.
got to meet you and talk to you before the interview and now. And so flattered to have you here and also to know that you're here from Florida, from Apollo Beach, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Julie Ramirez. And you can find her in Facebook as Julie
Prashad, not Ramirez,
Prashad.
but Prashad, you'll
Yeah, I
find me
want to make
under.
sure that they know so they can find you correctly. And thank you so much for allowing this space for you to come in and share this momentum with us. And maybe we'll meet soon because we're not too far from each other. We'd love to see you. And for the ones that don't know me, my name is Blangelica. I am founder of I Am My Biggest Fan. That's my core. That's the beautiful company I created from a hashtag living my life, discovering who I was, where I was going, and through the hard times and the pains and the struggles, I became my biggest fan. And now I help people become their biggest fan through transformation, self-love all the way, empowerment, healing, and actually unblocking your wealth. And I am store owner of Blangelica's Boutique. I serve here out of Auburndale, serving globally. And why not join us for our events, for our workshop, for our classes, our courses? And we do holistic approach to happiness. And we just love helping people embody their self-love and creating the life they desire. I'm telling you right now, you're the best version of yourself at all times. You just have to trust and believe that you can and you will. Thank you for being here, Julie. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
you so
much.
much.